So, I want to thank everyone for making the live broadcast. My name is Tumani Wandani. I'm a contributing member of the Black Gold movement and effort to build a Black Gold nation. I am the the direct revolutionary product of the training, leadership, tutelage of Cardinal Mbayu Chui of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the indirect revolutionary product of Jaramogi Baby Ajman, the Reverend Albert B. Clegg, who was the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, started in 1953 out of St. Mark's Church in, I'm not sure if they were in Detroit. I think they were in Detroit, Michigan. So with that, everything we are doing, everything that we are based on, the foundation of our program, our message and mission comes out of that liberation theology of that Black church that I was a member of. And we are not a religious movement. We understand, respect, study spirituality, but we don't do religion because religion for us can be such a divisive thing. So I want to focus on last night's our first community meeting webinar. I was talking about it a lot yesterday. I was leading up to it with the posts that I was making on Facebook, on social media, with the emails and everything I was sending and the messages. We absolutely must have political power. We absolutely must build political power. We can't do that if we're just talking about the problem. We can't do that if we're not willing to come together as a collective group, a unified group, and make some things happen. We can't do that if we're not serious about what we're up against. There were a lot of absolutely phenomenal in last night's first community meeting webinar. I want to talk about a few of them and just drive home the point that what we have been working on, what we've been working on in the Black Gold movement, what we've been working on from November 2016 to now is coming into fruition. What we've been focused on doing, we are about to implement and start doing. And the only reason we're able to do this is because our plan from the very beginning was always about bringing the right Black people together. It was never based on me just doing a particular thing. It was never based on another Black person doing a particular thing. It was never based on a program solution from our ability to do as a people. It was always based on our ability to do as it relates to who brought the best message forward with the best understanding and expertise of what we needed to do. And last night was such a refreshing event because everything that Brother Craig Lee was talking about is the things that we have been positioning and preparing ourselves for, which is allowing us to hit the ground running with every single thing that he was saying. So as I've been doing, I want to continue to do, which is give a brief snapshot of what it means to be Black in America, a brief snapshot of what we're up against in America, and a concrete answer and solution to everything that we have been working on. So with that, let me go to my document here. And I just want to give everyone, again, a brief snapshot of what we're up against, all of which is real. None of this is conjecture, hyperbole, supposition, or assumption. This is what it means to be Black in America, and this is what we have to deal with. The bottom 50% of Black households in America are worth less than $1. More African American men in this country are incarcerated in prison than women are incarcerated worldwide. We got more brothers in prison right now in America than we have women being incarcerated worldwide. Our Black farmers are still being discriminated against by the USDA, which means they can't get their products, they can't get their food, they can't get what they grow to market, which hurts them, their bottom line, and their families. Automation, artificial intelligence, and machine language is still is projected to replace millions of jobs, which of course is going to affect our people. The White House just removed 3 million people from the food stamp rolls. And of course, we know that more white people are on food stamps than Black people, but that doesn't mean that a large percentage of Black people aren't going to be affected by so many of them being removed from the food stamp rolls. Food deserts, which is defined as an area that has limited access to affordable and nutritious food, exist in almost every predominantly Black and brown community in this country. Our people don't have access to nutritious and or affordable food to feed their families. Purge activity, which is assassinations, murders, kidnappings, organic and sex trafficking, crimes committed in Black masks and skins and gloves by people that aren't Black, is taking place in Black communities nationwide. Again, purge activity is taking place in Black communities nationwide. That purge activity being defined as, are being described as assassinations, murders, kidnappings, organ and sex trafficking, crimes committed in Black masks and skins of other people committing crimes, but they look like Black people because of the masks and the costumes that they're wearing. So the police are looking for Black people, not white people, although those are the persons that are committing the crimes, are non-Black people. The Portland Police Department just recently digitally removed. This is a testament to how America is changing, and they're using technology to do that. The Portland Police Department just digitally removed tattoos from a Black man's face to make him look like a suspect. They were looking for a person that committed a crime. The person that committed that crime did not have tattoos on their face. This brother had tattoos on his face. So they digitally removed those tattoos to make that brother look like the person that they were describing. And of course, he was subsequently charged with that crime and went to prison. That is how America is changing. We have over 900 white supremacist organizations in existence right now, many of whom are training for a race war. That's a reality that we're going to have to deal with. There have been over 255 mass shootings in America since the beginning of this year, and there are only going to be more. The Department of Homeland Security, in a recent study, has found that state and local law enforcement agencies nationwide have been infiltrated with neo-Nazi members and started secret terrorist cells developed to terrorize Black and Latino residents. The Donald Trump administration has refused to label and pursue domestic terrorism by white identity extremists on the same level as foreign terrorists. Under the Donald Trump administration, the FBI's official counterterrorism priorities have included, quote, Black identity extremists, anti-authority extremists, and animal rights and environmental extremists. This is one of the next one is one of the newest ones, and it's probably the heaviest hitting one. Approximately 25.4% of the American population in the U.S. identify themselves as evangelical Christians. And over 25% of that 25.4%, some 20 million people support Donald Trump. So if Donald Trump has proven himself to be a racist, a misogynist, a bigot, a hypocrite, a liar, a cheat, if he's proven that, and he is supported by 20 million plus people, that's a problem for us, because if he tells them to do anything, a large number of them will do it. These mass shootings that have occurred in America, these people have manifestos that mimic or is a duplicate of Donald Trump's language. That's an issue for us, just like Hitler was an issue for the Jews. Hitler was only one person. One person can do very little to cause a lot of damage, aside from there being a mass shooting, of course. But Hitler was supported by millions of Germans, and that allowed him to do what he did. Trump is supported by millions of people that not only ignore or forgive him for the things that he's done, but they take his word as gospel, and many of them will act in any way if he directs them to do so, or at least that is what I believe, given some of the verbiage and the manifestos and the letters that these mass shooters have left behind. That is a reality that we have to deal with in this country. Over 100 conservative think tanks that are focused on white supremacy and power are in existence right now, which is white people being paid very good money to think about how to secure and maintain and keep white power. That is a problem for us. We have to deal with a criminal justice system that's always been unjust, a bail bond system that's always been unfair and unjust, an education system that has never properly educated us, our parents, our children, and will never educate Black children for every generation to follow. It is a problem for us, which is why we have to educate our own people. We have to deal with a school to prison pipeline that is alive and well and highly functional in American society. We have to deal with a multi-billion-dollar prison industrial complex that you can buy stock in. So if you can buy stock in the prison system, what's the commodity? If you can buy stock in the prison system, it cannot be about law and order and criminal justice. And it isn't. It's about making money. We have to deal with redlining, gerrymandering, and gentrification, which is political power at its finest working against us, not for us, which is what made last night's community meeting webinar so vitally important, because we're talking about how to change all of that so it works in our favor and not against us. Over the past decade, the annual estimate of the number of gangs in the U.S. is approximately 27,000. Another important thing to understand and realize as it relates to being Black in America, because our communities are not just terrorized by people who aren't Black. They're also terrorized by gang members and or criminals who are Black, who look like our people, and are terrorizing our own people, which means we have to protect our people on multiple fronts from our own people as well as others. It's been 5 years since Flint, Michigan has had safe water to drink, bathe in, and use. The majority of Puerto Rico citizens went without power for over 11 months, and that may seem like it's not a big deal as it relates to us right now in August of 2019. But the point is that Puerto Ricans are Americans of color, and they had to endure 11 months without having the power that they need to move themselves and their communities forward and rebuild. I've been in the military. I know what the military can do in a very short period of time. I've been involved in operations where we built tent cities, a city of tents that provide all sorts of services on training exercises. So I know what's possible. There's no way in hell I would ever believe that Puerto Rico had to go 11 months without power. Completely unnecessary. And it most certainly did not have to be the case, but it was, because they were people of color, despite the fact that they're Americans. The Donald Trump administration Citizenship and Immigration Services Department is seeking to change the language on the Statue of Liberty from "give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free" to language that translates to "give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge." Another problem as it relates to us being Black in America, because America is changing. What person can say that they will never need government assistance because their lives will always be perfect? No one can make that claim, because no one knows what life is going to bring. The whole point of government is to support the people and help them move forward. No person can make that charge, but that is what they're trying to do, because they're trying to change America to be a nation of white people who are in power and in control, not a nation of people of color, Black and brown people, which is where the numbers are headed. That's a problem for them, and they know that, so they're acting accordingly to preserve their power, which is a problem for us in America. The Donald Trump administration under Jeff Sessions has reinstituted the privatizing of federal prisons, which means there is a profit motive. The Department of Justice has proven that cities like Baltimore and Chicago, major cities, have, quote, engaged in a pattern and practice of conduct that violates the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments. The First Amendment allows for the First Amendment allows for freedom of religion, speech, and the press, and the right to assemble and petition your government. The Fourth Amendment allows for protection from unlawful searches and seizures, which means that the police can't just search you, your physical person, and or come into your house and search you without probable cause, or your home. And the 14th Amendment allows for citizenship and equal rights for us as African Americans after we were free from slavery. And lastly, the Donald Trump administration has repealed civil rights protections all across this country in HUD and Commerce and in other governmental departments that we need, Black people need, to move ourselves forward. Now, that is a snapshot of what it means to be Black in America. That is a snapshot of what we're facing right now in 2019 moving forward. All of that, everything that I mentioned, all of it is politically motivated, but none of it will be possible without political power. We absolutely must understand that nothing happens to a community, nothing happens against a community, nothing happens for a community in America that doesn't have a political beginning, a political slant, political motivation, or a political hand, the hand of a politician, to make it happen. Our goal in this movement is to establish communities that have influence, value, and power. We will never be able to establish communities that have influence, value, and power if we don't have political power. And if we're going to have political power, we have to put ourselves in a position to build that political power. This is what made last night's first survival summit so vitally important. Everything that we're going to be dealing with from now until September 28th on a Wednesday, Thursday, and or Saturday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday evening, Saturday afternoon, we're dealing with a different aspect of what it means to be Black in America, how our communities are being attacked and destroyed in America, and how we can push back. Last night was the first of several of those events, those community meeting webinars, and we dealt with politics. Everything that I just mentioned is what we're about to start organizing ourselves to push back against. Everything that I just mentioned is what we're about to start putting our people in place strategically nationwide to push back against. The importance of having knowledgeable and capable leadership that knows what they're doing is the only way we're going to make this happen. We absolutely must have people who know what they're doing as it relates to how we're being attacked, so that we can not only push back against that, but so that we can train our people on the ground around the country about how as to how to be a part of that pushback. The brother that is now leading our political department on the national level is going to train me and others as to how we can put things in place to put ourselves in a position to win. I'm getting a connection there. And this is not something that's new. I've been saying from the very beginning of this thing that we can afford to find someone that wants to do this thing and then train them, or tell them to go get trained, and then they come back and train us. We don't have that kind of time. We have about 7 to 9 years to create at least 100 communities that are independent of everything that America has to offer. It can stand on its own 2 feet, and it has influence, value, and power. And we need to create at least 100 of them in 7 to 9 years, and they must all be connected with the same message, mission, program, task, tenets, and efforts to move ourselves forward as a collective group. We can't do that if we don't have leadership that can hit the ground running. What Brother Craig Lee is bringing to the Black Gold movement is a 24-year study of what needs to happen and how we can make it happen. He is not coming into the movement or coming to the movement and saying, okay, give me time to learn about what's what. He's coming in with a 24-year track record of success, because that's how long he's been studying this political thing, and that's how long it's taken him to use what he is bringing to us to be successful for us as it's been successful for him in another city. So what we're about to do in Houston, he has already done elsewhere. What we're about to do in Houston, he's already proven can work because he's done it elsewhere. Now, Houston, being the 3rd largest city in the country, is going to be a larger project because it's a larger city dealing with more people. However, that does not mean that it can't be successful. If what he's done can be successful elsewhere, it can be successful here. The importance of having people that know what they're doing, the importance of having people that love Black people, the importance of having people that want to see Black people win, cannot be underestimated, cannot be overstated. We absolutely must have people that know what they're doing, that understand the issues as it relates to what they're doing, and they are ready, willing, and able to train the people on the ground as to how to do. In our introductory presentation, A Nation Within a Nation, I talk about 3 things that we need to create the kind of communities that we absolutely must have for our children moving forward. We absolutely must have people on the ground that are ready to do. If we don't have people on the ground that are ready to do, then guess what? Nothing's going to get done. We don't have time for talk. We don't have time to try to make a video go viral. We don't have time to complain to other people about changing our situation, because that's never going to change our situation. We have to have people on the ground that are ready to do. That's the first thing. The second thing we need is leadership that knows what they're doing and is willing to train the people on the ground how to do. If we don't have leadership that knows what they're doing and is ready, willing, and able to train the people on the ground as to how to do, then we're going to continue to lose. People on the ground that are ready, willing, and able, that have no direction, that have no training, that have no leadership, are going to fail. Conversely, leadership that has an understanding, that has the knowledge, that has the answers and the solutions, if they don't have someone on the ground to train to implement what they know how to do, then that leadership is going to fail. If these 2 groups don't exist at the same time, if these 2 groups aren't working together at the same time, then Black people are going to fail. And we will never have these communities, because we absolutely need these 2 groups to work together at the same time. And the third thing we need is a proven and adequate defensive strategy to protect all of it. Because every single thing we've done in this country to move ourselves forward has been targeted for destruction and destroyed on purpose. So as we are building, as we are learning, as we are training, as we are implementing, we have to be protecting. Because this government has made it quite clear that they are not for our forward progress and or advancement. This government has made it quite clear that our leaders will be targeted for exile, incarceration, and or assassination. We have to prepare for that possibility, because that's what's always happened. And with the right leadership, that simply makes it that much easier to make that happen. And the brother who's now leading the Black Gold Nation's political department so that we can implement a political machine to move ourselves forward, he is on board, and he's going to train myself and others as to how to make this happen. The last thing I'm going to talk about as it relates to the importance and the power of last night. The importance and the power of last night. I started the Black Gold movement in November of 2016. I was only able to do that because I was a member of an organization at Black Church that was about building Black power for Black people. So I was able to do this because I've been trained by others to do this. Again, the shrine started in 1953 in Detroit, Michigan. And from 1953 to now, the shrine has been moving to put Black people in a better position to win. For 20 years, I've been trained by the leadership of that organization, which I will put up against any leadership we've ever had in this country since we've been here. The leadership that we had was absolutely phenomenal. And as I continue to work in this movement, I want to do the best I can to bring out the beauty, the genius, the absolute wonderful, capable, knowledgeable, gifted, intelligent leadership that we had in that Black church. The beauty, the power of last night's event proved to me, again, because this is constantly being proved to me, that what we're working on is divinely inspired by a higher order, divinely inspired by a higher power, divinely inspired by forces that are not physical. Brother Craig and I were talking about next steps this morning from last night's event. He started to tell me some of the things that we need to do that are next steps to move this thing forward. I stopped him from what he was saying because I wanted him to know that the pieces he was talking about implementing as it relates to the next steps of what we need to do, those pieces that of the Black Gold movement. Understand what I'm saying. This Black man that I met less than a year ago, he saw a post, I saw a live video. He called me. I was actually driving for Uber at the time. He called me. I had somebody in the back seat, and I'm talking to this Black man about building Black power because it was that important. She was just going to have to hear what we're talking about. And we had a conversation that lasted, I think, at least an hour. And he and I have been in contact before. I didn't know Brother Craig before that. So here he is. From that point to now, he's giving us concrete solutions as to what we can do to build political power. He's giving me the next steps of that process. And the next steps of that process are already a part, the shell of it, are already a part of the Black Gold movement. He is bringing what we were missing. We are bringing what he needs, but we didn't always know one another. We didn't develop these solutions together. Now we're moving forward together. We did what we did as two separate organizations, and now we're together. This thing is divinely inspired by a higher order. More specifically, I am saying in the Black Gold movement, per my training in the Shrines of the Black Madonna, that everything is about the group. If you talk to any person that's been an ambassador, a Black Gold ambassador in this movement, they will tell you that I am always talking about the group. Go out and get other people, bring them to you, because you can't do this on your own. Go out and get other people, bring them to this, because you're going to need somebody to lean on. Go out and get other people, bring them to this, because life is going to happen to you. And when it does, you need someone to lean on. You need someone to take your place. You need someone to support you while you're going through whatever you're going through. I am calling that tribal development, because we all need to be a part of a particular tribe, which is simply a group that we can rely on. Brother Craig was talking about the importance of having a group that you can rely on, depend on, that you can bounce ideas off of as we build this political machine. Same thing, two different purposes, now of which will become one. Tribal development. That's something that I've been using in the Black Gold movement from the very beginning that Brother Craig was talking about this morning. I've also been talking about in our introductory presentation. I talk about our Black Gold ambassadors having the ability to produce a SWOT analysis, SWOT, a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat assessment as relates to how our communities need to move forward in what fashion. He was talking about this morning the things that we need to implement to be around our political figures to ensure that we are always moving ourselves forward in an intelligent, unified, organized, strategic, methodical fashion. He was talking about our departments and the usage of the SWOT analysis. But he didn't know this because, again, we've never spoken about details of what I was doing and what he was doing. Come to find out that when I was implementing the shell of it, he's bringing some of the details. This thing is divinely inspired. This thing is being ordered by a higher power. And the third thing that helped me to understand that this is meant to be, the third thing that helps me understand that what we're doing, we're supposed to be doing. He was talking about the importance of being able to identify the issues on the ground so that we can bring them to our political officials that we put in office or that we're trying to put in office so that they can understand the threats. They can understand the landscape. They can understand the answers from these different people that we put around them. I have been calling that for at least, I'm not sure if it's been a year. I'll say 8+ months. I've been talking about the importance of having predator hunters and predator spotters. I've been talking about having predator hunters, predator spotters, and predator supporters. A predator hunter is someone that has identified the predators in and around the Black community and is ready, willing, and able to deal with that predator. It can be a business. It can be an organization. By identifying these predators via our predator hunters so that we can organize a strategy to get them out of our communities. A predator hunter can't be successful without a predator spotter, because the spotter will help that predator hunter identify the threat so that collectively as a group, they can work as a team, they can work together to get that predator out of our communities. Predator hunters work with predator spotters to identify the threat and remove it from the community. Predator supporters, which I probably need to rename that, but the supporters of the predator hunters and spotters help them to do what we need them to do. Again, this is something that I've been talking about for at least 8 months in the Black Gold movement. And Brother Craig, a brother that I have not always known, was bringing the details of how we can make that happen. Understand what I'm saying. I'm saying I have met a Black man who has an in-depth knowledge and understanding of building political power. And what he is bringing is what we have produced for him to bring it. He produced the shell of what he is bringing, because we always knew from the very beginning that our purpose is to build a nation within a nation. We always knew from the very beginning that you can't build a nation within a nation without leadership. We always knew that the community was being attacked. We always knew that the community was deficient in multiple areas. And we knew that both those things were happening on purpose. So here we have a Black man who shows up, divinely ordered and inspired, a Black man who shows up with everything we need to make that department move. And we're about to make that department move. Houston is going to be the second successful city by which we're able to implement his political strategy so that we can move ourselves forward to build political power. We're looking for people in the city of Houston who want to help us make that happen. If you understand the importance of political power, if you want to understand the importance of political power, if you want to be a part of a political machine to move Black people forward in the greatest city, in the greater Houston, Texas area, then we want you to be a part of this movement because we're about to start working on that tonight. I'm going to schedule a Zoom meeting with those persons that want to be a part of a political machine starting here in Houston that we can grow nationwide. And that is not to say that we want to disrespect someone else's political thing. It's not to say that we want to push aside someone else's political thing. But what we are saying is that the political power we need, we don't see anybody producing the way it needs to be produced. So we're going to do it. And we're not doing it based on a hope, a wish, or a prayer. We're doing it based on a proven model that a brother has brought to us that he has utilized in another city that's been successful. Again, Houston would be a larger city, a larger project because of its size and the people that live here. But the basic tenets, the fundamental strategy is most certainly doable. And we're about to implement that. Politics, political power is only one aspect of what we need to do to put our people in the position to win. Political power is only one thing that we need to be very, very, very strong in so we can put our people in the position to win. That's him calling me right now. Political power is one of 17 different areas that we're focused on in the Black Gold Nation Survival Summit. Our communities and our people, our elders, our women, our children are being attacked on multiple levels from multiple angles and multiple venues. If we don't push back against that, we're going to continue to lose. And I'm saying that this brother has brought one solution that we knew we needed to move ourselves forward. And more evidence of how this thing is divinely inspired. He talked about the importance of, involving our Black churches because they bring a lot to the table that we need. I brought up yet another example of how powerful the Shrines of the Black Madonna has been as it relates to not just building powerful Black people in the community, but having a political machine that operates year round to move ourselves forward. We had the Black Slate, which did nothing but identify candidates that would put the Black community in a better spot, put support around them, and then we push that candidate forward, which is how it's supposed to be. Politically speaking, the candidate should come from the people. The candidate should not come from the outside in. It should come from the inside out. And that is something else that Brother Craig is bringing because he has that understanding. So when I tell you that we are operating from a different vantage point, when I tell you our motivation is coming from a different place, when I tell you that there are forces unseen that are leading, guiding, bringing this thing together, I can't tell you how many times I've spoken with a brother or a sister who's working on something, and either I have had the idea that they are doing, or they've had the idea that I am doing, and we both have said that is the same thing that I was thinking. That's the reason I wrote the book Black Gold Devalued, because I felt in my spirit that Black people were looking for something, that Black people were ready for something, and I felt like I had something to offer, so I wrote the book. And everything that we're trying to do as far as the solutions to move our people forward is in the book. It's not about the book. It's about the solution and the people that can help make the things that are in the book possible. And that's what we want to do. We want to push forward solutions, proven solutions that are going to put us in a position to win. And the Black Gold Nations, Black Church, and Black Organization Survival Summit is 100% about that. Finding the Black people who have the Black solution to put our people in a position to win on another level. And politically speaking, that's going to be the first thing. Next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. The next subject matter we're going to deal with is agriculture, because we absolutely must be in a position whereby we can not only grow our own food, but we can create industry from that process to do so. If we are strong politically, if we can create political power for ourselves, if we can create a political machine that functions year-round, not just when it's time to vote, but functions year-round, then that's one area of strength that brings power. If we can then also feed ourselves, that brings more power. If we can connect the two and bring other Black organizations on board who have other things that we also need, that's yet another aspect by which we can be powerful. The only thing stopping us is us. If we decide as a people, if enough of us decide as a people to not be stopped, then we will not be stopped. We have been through the fire. We've been tested. The things that have happened to our people are absolutely evil and horrendous, but we're still here. The lynchings, the murders, the castrations, pregnant women's stomachs being cut open, children being taken from their parents, the rapes, the molestation, the family breakups, the psychological terror, the spiritual trauma, everything that's been happening to us for the past 400 years. We're still here, not unbroken, not unscathed, not 100% whole and or complete, but we're still here. We came out of the fire. That is a badge of honor that we should wear proudly because not everybody came out the fire. When Europeans came to the shores of North America, there were over 500 Native American nations. You'd be hard pressed to find a good, healthy one or two. 500 nations, most of whom have been wiped out. We came out of that evil nature that we're still having to deal with. If we decide not to be stopped, checkmate, game over, because the only thing that can stop us is us. And with people in a position to help us move forward, like the brother that we have, that we now have, that's going to help us build this political machine that we want you guys to be a part of, we're about to move. And we're about to move in a very big way. And the political movement of the Black Gold Nation, the political movement of the Black Gold movement to build a Black Gold Nation is only one avenue that we're moving down. We're going to add these other 16 areas by which we've been targeted for denial, targeted for destruction, targeted for destroying our people. We're going to push back against all of it. And we have the leadership in place to make that possible. And we want you to meet that leadership. We want you to hear those solutions. We want you to question those solutions. We want you to, if you want to, have a debate with the persons that are delivering those solutions. I have 100% faith in our leadership in this movement. And as I said before, I will put this leadership up against any other person's leadership in their given area of expertise. We have solid people leading this movement in different areas. And we need more people to be involved in what these people are trying to do. So I'm going to invite all of you to be a part of the Black Gold movement. And if you have a love of politics, if you have a love of political power, you understand political power, if you want to be a part of what we're about to do here in Houston and around the country, then leave your comments in the comment section and I will contact you and we will go from there. We're not about talking. We've never been about talking. Everything that we've done has been a strategic move to get us to where we are. And of course, I had hoped that we would have been here maybe a year ago, definitely 6 months ago, but it is what it is. And now we're ready to move. But we understand that we can't move without more Black people. No movement moves without people. And we need more people to help us make this happen. We have the organization. We have the understanding. We have the infrastructure. We have the leadership. We have people on the ground, and we need more of that. Every Black person in this country, every Black person in Africa, every Black person around the world can be a part of this movement. If you identify as a Black person or an African or a melanated person or a carbonated person or a prisoner of war, or whatever you want to call us, if your people can be traced back to the continent of Africa, which is all people that are melanated, actually all people period, but all people that are melanated, if you identify with that group, if you understand that we have a special and unique set of circumstances that only we can solve because nobody's coming to save us, and you want to be a part of that solving, if you can agree that we're Black, we're oppressed, and you want to help us end this oppression, then those three things, if you can get down with those three things, then that is enough for us to work together. There is something for everyone to do. Everyone who is a melanated person can be a part of this movement if you want to be a part of this movement. We ask for a $4 monthly membership fee, which is a very, very, very small amount of money. Most of us waste that every other day. And we ask for at least, if you can, 5 minutes a day. We know everybody won't do that, but we all can if they want. Getting a little bit, a small amount from enough people can help us change not only how our communities look, but how our communities function and what they produce. We have the ability right now today to put things in motion that will create for us a different trajectory of where we're headed right now in 2019. We can put ourselves on a different path right now today, which places our children on a different path right now today, which places their children and every generation to follow on a different path. Right now today, we can start doing that. We simply need more people on board to help us make it happen. And we're hoping and praying that you are one such Black person. So if you want more information about the Black Gold movement, please go to blackgoldnation.com, click on about, read our mission. If the mission makes sense to you, go to our events website, Black Gold Wakanda Rising, click on presentations, RSVP, if you haven't already seen the overview presentation, A Nation Within a Nation, or a gathering, the subtitle is A Gathering of the Tribes. Click on that. It's free. We do it Monday, Tuesday, and Friday of every week. So we'll be having one tonight so you can learn more about the Black Gold Movement and effort to build a Black Gold Nation. If you want more information about the Survival Summit, on the same events website, Black Gold-Wakanda Rising, click on Survival Summit. Read what we're talking about doing. Understand what we're talking about doing. Look at the caliber of the keynote presenters and what they bring to the table. I'm extremely excited about the presentations that we have coming up because they are solutions, proven solutions to things that are destroying our people. We are not intellectually, physically, economically, or spiritually deficient. Everything we need, we already have. We simply need to find the right people that have those things, bring them into the fold of the Black Gold Nation so that we can support them in what they're trying to do, so they become bigger, better, and stronger, which helps makes us bigger, better, and stronger, which puts our children in the position to be bigger, better, and stronger, because they need to be bigger, better, and stronger, because what they're up against, they cannot win if we don't give them what they need to be bigger, better, and stronger. We have to stop lying to our children about what it means to be Black in America. We have to stop lying to our children about the reality of being Black in America. We have to stop lying to our children about them having enemies in this country, about America being an anti-Black country as it relates to the policies, the leadership, the government, and things that they do to hold us back. We have to be honest with our children about predators existing in and around our communities if you live in a predominantly Black or brown community. We got to be honest with our children about what they're up against. And then we have to give them every single thing they need to push back against what they're up against. And we can do that right now today. The Black Gold Nation is focused on doing that right now today. If you want to become a supporter of the Black Gold Movement, on our events website, click on that support button, scroll down to that subscribe button and click it. $4 a month. We want to take a page out of the movie Black Panther's book, whereby people of color, melanated people worldwide came together, and in 1 month, we gave to Disney and Marvel Studios over $750 million, conservatively speaking, in 1 month. Money we still have. Brother Craig's leadership, his study, his understanding of political power is absolutely phenomenal. What if we gave that brother $1 million a month to run our political department? What could we accomplish? He has proven solutions to build political power. $1 million a month to build political power. That's what other people do, to build political power. That's exactly what we need to do to build political power. Again, we have the infrastructure, we have the organization, we have the plan, we have the leadership. We know what we're doing because we have the people that know what they're doing. And we simply want you to be a part of what we're doing because we need you to be a part of what we're doing. This political machine that we're about to implement in the greater Houston, Texas area will simply be duplicated and expanded nationwide. Understanding that we absolutely must have a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats assessment as it relates to every predominantly Black and brown community in this country. We're going to start implementing, because we have to be smarter and more intelligent and more methodical as it relates to what we're dealing with and what we're up against. Otherwise, we're going to continue to lose. And every Black person can be a part of this if they want to be. There's something for everybody to do. We don't care about your background. We don't care about who you, how you vote. We don't care who you love, how many kids you got, if you have a degree, how much money you make. We don't care about any of that. If you identify as a Black person or with Black people, you understand that we have a special and unique set of circumstances that only we can fix, and you want to be a part of the fixing, then this can be your home. If you can still critically think, if you're unafraid or won't allow your fear to stop you, and you want to be a part of a solution, this can be your home. We're about to make history. We're about to put our people in a different position to move. And we're only going to be that much bigger, better, and stronger if you join us. So let me make sure I don't have any questions. I don't think I do. Brother Boyd, thank you for making it. Brother Muhammad, thank you for making it. Sister Adaku, thank you for making it. Sister Akshita, thank you. Sister CL. Sister CL made last night's presentation. Asked her CL Taylor about the presentation last night. It was pretty awesome. Brother Eric, thank you for making it. Sister Ann, thank you. Brother Craig, thank you for watching. Brother Broody, thank you for being there. Arise, Yuda, I think I'm saying that right. All of this is crazy. They are trying to repeat history. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by this is crazy. And I don't know what you mean by they. I guess you mean white people. I don't know. So if you can be a bit more specific before I sign off, I'll come back to you. Brother Richmond, thank you. Brother O'Neill, thank you for being there. Sister Leela, thank you. Brother Mawaf, you still there? Thank you. Brother Dale, thank you as well. Brother Michael, thank you for being a part. Sister Achida says, standing together in unity with a bunch of fire. So I appreciate it. Okay. So thank you guys for being a part of the live broadcast. Please, 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 please share this with 5 and 15, 20 Black people. If you haven't already liked us, followed us, and you're following us on Facebook, please also do that, as well as follow, subscribe to us on YouTube as we continue to work to make sure that we are getting our message out to as many Black people as possible. I was supposed to have launched the new Black Gold Media website today, but I've been busy, so hopefully I will get that launched by this weekend, which is going to be an absolutely wonderful outlet for our leadership to produce articles in all the different areas that we are bringing Black people solutions as relates to what's weakening and destroying our communities. So we are doing a lot. There's a lot to be done. That is why we're always in the mode of trying to find the right Black person, the right black people to support us in this effort, so that we can make ourselves bigger, better, and stronger, which again makes our children bigger, better, and stronger. Our children are our most valuable and important and cherished asset and resource. Without our children, we are nothing. We don't put multiple layers of security around our children, then we won't win, because our children are next. Everything we do has to have our children at the center of it. And that's how the Black Gold Nation is structured. Everything has to flow through programs to help make our children bigger, better, and stronger, because it helps make us bigger, better, and stronger. So with that, you guys have an absolutely wonderful Friday. I appreciate you being a part of the live broadcast. Subscribe, like, and follow. If everyone does something, everything will get done. And lastly, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. Not me, not you, not your family, not my family, not your children, not my children. Nothing is more sacred than our liberation and salvation as a people. Because if our people don't make it, you don't make it. If our people don't make it, I don't make it. If our people don't make it, our children don't make it. If our people don't make it, our sisters, our brothers, our elders, none of us are going to make it if we as a people can't come together in enough numbers to make sure we make it. Don't worry about what someone else does. Don't worry about what you think Black people are going to do. If you are a Black person and you want to see us win, then you do your part. If you do your part, then everything that we're working on will work in your favor to bring more Black people on board. Trust me when I say the solutions we are presenting are proven. And if they're not, we're not winning. But we don't have to, because we have enough Black people out there that are operating on extremely high levels that can bring the solutions that we need. And they are bringing the solutions that we need. So you guys have a wonderful Friday. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.